And we are live. All right, man. How's it going, Gustavo? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Doing good, ready to rock.
Good morning, Real Closers. We're back again every Monday, 8:30, with Gustavo from Power ISA. We call this a Power Hour, even though we go for about 15, 30 minutes. We figure it fit the name Power Hour. But yeah, we're here every Monday.
Great branding.
And today we're going to talk about something really interesting. We've talked about internet leads, right? We've talked about top of funnel leads. How do we convert them? And today we're going to talk about 3 different conversions you must make in order to convert them to an actual deal. All right. So Gustavo, why don't you take it away? Let us know what we have to do to close those deals.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks, Roberto. Hey, everybody. I get asked this a lot, right? Because a lot of folks, they ask me either, Gus, why am I not converting these internet leads? Why are they not turning into anything, right? And I tell them on average, this is mostly Google and Facebook. A lot of them top of the funnel leads, Google and Facebook leads coming in. Average conversion rate for those is going to be around 1%. I'd say even most people are between 0.5% and 1%, right? It takes a lot of work to convert those. However, the top teams that are managing Facebook and Google leads are in the 3 to 5% conversion rate to closed transaction, right? And this is measuring it over across a 12-month period. This is not within like a month or two. I don't want to make numbers up, but looking at it from a 12-month window, if they get 100 internet leads from Google or Facebook, they're going to turn 3 of those into a deal, maybe up to 5 of those into a deal. Closed transaction. And so people say, well, God, what's the deal? What's going on? Why do some people, why is the average 1%? What do the top teams do 3 times that, 5 times that? What's going on? And, I've asked myself that a lot, right? Because at Power ISA, we do a lot of work to help people convert these internet leads. But the more I notice, the more I talk to the top performing teams, I realize that there's 3 main steps to converting those inbound internet leads into deals. There's 3 main steps. And a lot of folks are confused about that, right? They struggle understanding that, and they really only focus on 1 conversion when there's 3 conversions you have to make. 3 conversions. And I really like that mindset. Shift the mindset towards, okay, what do the top people do? The top people have this down. They understand. They go into it ready to take on those 3 conversions instead of just 1. So I'm going to jump into it, guys. So when you're doing internet leads, a lot of these inbound internet leads are going to be buyers. A lot of them are going to be buyer focused, although somewhere between 1/3 and half of them are going to have a home that they own, right? In the past, I think NAR reported this out there. On average, 51% of folks that have bought a home last year were owning a home before that, right? So I think that's a really interesting statistic. Really, it doesn't mean that it's a contingent offer. It doesn't mean any of that. It means they owned a home before they bought this latest home, right? So I think that's really, really indicative, because I think buyers are still very valuable because of their potential to be buyer sellers, even in that case. But let's start with that. They go into it. The first conversion you do with an inbound internet lead is what I call the conversion to appointment, right? That's the first conversion you have to do. This one is a grind. This one takes speed to lead. It takes follow-up. It takes calling. It takes texting. 6, 7, 8 touches the first week, 15, 16 touches the first 30 days. And then you're still following up with them on a monthly basis. That gives you a chance, an opportunity to talk to them. The conversion isn't done. There's scripting that goes into this. You have to have a great reason for them to take time out of their day and meet with you, right? That's the first conversion. That's really the one, Roberto, where the most attention is focused. There's CRMs that are built to help you with that first conversion. People hire ISAs to be able to do all of the work, all the follow-up work and the scripting to convert them into that appointment. People do all of these things, texting, text scripts and phone scripts and role play, everything to make sure that you're ready for that first conversion, right? But here's the kicker. This is a crazy thing. And we know this from let's take from Facebook leads. We understand that on the low end, 10% of those leads are willing to take that call with an agent, are willing to sit down and meet with that agent. They're willing to do it, right? 10% up to 15%, right? And if they're filled to a little bit more, it can be higher. But in general, out of 100 Facebook leads, 10 of them might give you the time of day right off the bat, those first 30 days to meet with you, right? That's not a bad statistic. It's a pretty decent statistic. That's great. That is just the first step in a 3-step process. converting them to appointment, enticing them, value proposition. What is your reason to get them to meet with you, right? What are you going to give them access to off-market properties? Are you going to show them how to be competitive in this market and get that property? What sets you apart from everybody else that's reaching out to them? Okay, that's the first step. The second conversion, which is as important as the first one, it's no different. This happens when you're face-to-face with the client. This can be on a Zoom call. It can be face-to-face in your office. It doesn't matter, right? This is when the agent meets with them and you want to get them to become a signed client. That's the second conversion. Conversion to signed client. They sign a listing agreement or they sign a buyer's agreement. That is the second conversion. And this, there is no CRM, there is no ISA, there's nothing that can help you with this, right? It is just you belly to belly with the client, showing them why you are the best person for them to work with, the best person. And this conversion takes more skill. This one's harder than the first one. The first one's a lot of work. It's a grind with these internet leads, a lot of activity. But once you get them on the phone, I'm going to be really honest with you guys, it's not that hard to book an appointment with them. When my team, Power ISA, when we did this at the highest level, 220,000 leads, we would do this mostly from Facebook. 50% of the people we talked to would book on a calendar or live transfer. 50% of the people we would talk to, right? Talking to these leads is the hardest part. Getting them on the phone is difficult. But when you get them on the phone and you know your scripts, 50% conversion rate off the bat. Let's go. When you meet with them, folks, if this person's coming from your day, I'm going to contrast this. When they're coming from your database, already know, like, and trust you, or they're referred by someone that knows, likes, and trusts you, it's an 80-90% conversion rate to signed client, maybe even more than that, right? Me, I always did like a 90% conversion rate for my database. That is my point of reference. When you're talking about internet leads, a skilled agent can convert them about 30% of the time, 25% of the time is a good conversion rate. When you're talking about sellers, 20 to 30 is good. You're not bad. Unmet seller lead that you're meeting with and converting into a client, 4 out of those, you get 1 client, you're good. You're good at what you do, right? Buyers, it can be higher. It can be all the way up to 50% for buyers, potentially, right? Because it's an easier conversion to make. You have to understand that when you're at that meeting with that potential deal, you're in front of them and you can actually make it happen. You've got to show them. You have to have your script ready. You have to have your presentation on point. Your presentation should answer most of their objections. What sets you apart from everybody else? Why are you better at this? What is your value proposition? Is it your marketing? Is it your internet savvy? Is it your vendors? Is it your lender? Is it the financial services you offer? Why are you a full service agent? Why do you charge what you charge? Do you have any options on that, right? The presentation should answer all those questions. They should answer all of them. And if you're talking to a buyer, it should also set the proper expectation for them as well, where they are in the marketplace and why you are going to help them. Being a buyer is tough in this market, right? Why should they go with you to try and win that property? Being a seller is a very advantageous part of this process. How can you add value to someone that's in that position? And a lot of them, most of them have a home they want to buy. What's your strategy to get into a home right now, right? So you've got to be able to answer all those questions, all those main objections within the presentation, and you've got a shot. Up to 50% conversion with buyers, 25 to 30 with sellers. It takes skill and it takes practice. That's the second conversion, okay? Okay, great. Gus, well, we're good to go. They're signed. What more? Guess what, guys? There is a third conversion, and this is what really sets the elite teams apart from everybody else, particularly when you're talking about buyer leads, sellers to a degree, but mostly with buyers in this market. You need to convert them to pending transaction. Well, Gus, that's easy. They make an offer and the host goes pending. Yeah, it does. But to win a property in this market, you have to coach, you have to push, you have to educate your client on what it takes to win. And the teams that do this, that work with the most motivated buyers, and they're coachable, they can educate them on the kind of offer they need to make, are going to win those properties, right? If they go into it, wanting to do it their way, trying to find a deal, not listening to the agent, they're going to be searching for months. They're going to be searching all year. They're going to find anything. If you actually want that person to close, you have to have a script on how to make that offer. Mr. Buyer, I know you love this property. I just spoke to the listing agent. This is the competitive scenario. If you want to win this property, your offer has to be in this range, and it has to be structured this way. This is what we need to do. You're not asking them, what do you think you want to do? That's not the way to do it. It's not how you're going to win in this market. In the most competitive markets, the buyer's agents that know their scripts and know how to manage their clients have a shot at winning those properties, right? It might not be on the first one, but the most competitive offers they make, the more of those they make, they're going to win a property in this market, okay? The people that are not prepared that way, they're not coached by the agent, they're not educated by the agent, have zero shot at winning those homes, guys. Really, really important to understand that, right? Because even if you're in one of the hottest markets, you got to understand you're there to educate and advise the client. Even if you're in a market, let's go to the other extreme, Roberto. You're in a market that might be going under a shift. You're seeing, or you know what? And the closer you got to summer, 4th of July, Labor Day, the demand would always wane in a lot of these markets, right? Let's say they're pulling back. The buyer might be thinking, great, it's now a buyer's market. I can negotiate. You got to educate them too. Even if you're seeing price reductions in your market, even if it's slightly less competitive, you still have to educate them, because buyers are the same as sellers. Sellers are the last to realize the market has shifted. Buyers always think the market has shifted in their favor when they see a small detail, right? You got to handle both of those cases. Even if you're in a shift in a market or a temporary shift, you got to educate that client more so to put them in the right spot, to put their feet on the ground into reality, guys. 3 conversions: conversion to appointment, conversion to signed client, and conversion to pending deal, right? Those are the 3 conversions. The more I dig into it, the more I research, those are the 3 conversions people need to understand. And you can ask any buyer's agent in today's market. Ask any of them that are having success, not any buyer's agent, any buyer's agent that's closing deals in this market, and they will tell you without a doubt, their toughest negotiation is with their own client. That is the difficult conversation we have to have. It's not with the seller. The seller has 5 offers to choose from, 10 offers, maybe more, 10 offers to choose from. That's not a difficult negotiation, guys. That's not that hard. It is hard to get your client to step up, put their best foot forward, and win a property in this market. And the agents that are prepared are going to get those deals. The ones that aren't are really going to struggle.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first step, it takes a lot of grind, a lot of work. You just said it, right? Yeah. And one of the things that you talked about was internet leads. And we talk about internet leads, we talk about Facebook and Google, right? A lot of people say that just because they're running Google ads, they're gonna get better results. I mean, the one thing I'd like to tell people about Google leads is that, yes, you pay more, but you about get the same quality top of funnel lead as Facebook. With Facebook, yeah, you get more leads. You have to go through more leads to get through that appointment.
But when I talk about them, Roberto, I talk about the same thing. It's the same challenge, right? And you can argue, Google, are they more qualified? Yes or no? Let's say they're more qualified. They're not halfway down the funnel, guys. That's not where they are. Oh, this is way easier to convert. It's a grind. Even with Google leads, it's a grind. You got to work on it. And I know a lot of teams in my home market in Seattle, they had a 1% conversion with Google leads, pay-per-click Google leads, 1%. So I'm not that easily convinced, oh, there's a ton of intent. I'm sure there's more intent compared to a random Facebook lead, but looking at the numbers, the challenge is the same as with a Facebook lead, for sure.
Exactly. And which is why, I always recommend, hey, start with Facebook. You're going to spend less money. You're going to get more people in your database. You are going to talk to more people. But at the same time, the more people in your database, the more chances at you getting that appointment, which is that first step, right?
Exactly.
Get on that call, make that appointment, talk to that lead. And if you leverage, a team to do this for you, like an ISA team, for example, then that's just part of the work that you don't have to do. You get them on the phone. But again, like Gus said today, that's just the first conversion that you have to make, right?
The first conversion. And a lot of times, Roberto, when I see people's frustration with internet leads, right? It's usually not about that first conversion. I take it back. A lot of them are complaining about not getting results in that first conversion, but a lot of folks get appointments with internet leads. A lot of folks talk to internet leads. and they're saying, hey, I'm not getting the results that I want. Are you prepared for the 3 conversions, right? Are you prepared? Are you scripted for those 3? Have you rehearsed all 3? Are you role playing all 3 of those conversions? Because just asking yourself the question, Roberto, what do I bring to the table that no one else can do in this market? If you can't answer that in a succinct, clear way, you're already behind. You're behind the 8 ball, right? And it's true. Remember, also, numbers are on your side here, guys. 2/3 of consumers go with the first agent they meet. Absolutely, they do. That's true. So even getting in front of them can be useful. It can be great, honestly. But that statistic, this is important, is not broken down by lead source. That statistic does not say 2/3 of internet leads go with the first agent that they meet. I bet you, whatever you want, that it is more challenging with those internet leads, because 2/3 of folks meet with the first agent they go with because they're referred by someone. It might be their agent they used last time, the agent their mom used. So there's a mix of lead sources there. I feel, this is just my gut, this is Gus from my experience in the industry, that if you broke down the folks that go off the web, that statistic is lower because it's more competitive on the web. People coming in, they have options, right? It's not just the first one to talk to them on the phone. Getting in front of them is a challenge, right? And then once you're in front of them, showing them your value but you have the advantage. They're right there in front of you, right? They cannot just ignore your text message. They can't just hang up the phone, right? Don't say anything that will make them hang up the phone, but you have a chance to make your case and show them that, right? If you are prepared, you're going to be successful. And then, but you don't want to, you need the 3rd conversion as well, because you don't want to be one of those buyer's agents that has 8 clients that are active. I've got 10 active buyers, 15 active buyers. You're doing something wrong. You shouldn't be having dozens and dozens of clients. How many closings do you have? How many pending transactions do you have? In this market, Roberto, I see brand new agents having the best year that I've seen, that I would like to see more experienced agents have. The difference, brand new agents closing 16, 20 million, not more than that, like 10, 20, 30, 40 transactions, because they get it. They understand it. And I see more experienced agents having one of the toughest years they've ever had, right? And there's all these reasons. Of course, there's always a reason you can have a bad year. You can have a bad year when the market's up. You can have a bad year when the market's down, right? I get it. I understand it. But in the same market, you're having people have their best year ever in real estate in the last 12 months. What is the difference? I think that's a big part of it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Man, I really appreciate you coming on board again today. We are here every Monday. We're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be posting these you know, the themes, the titles of our lives ahead of time, so that people can actually get that, you know, understand what we're going to be talking about, and also post your questions, right? Because that's what we're here for. You know, if you have questions, drop them. We're happy to help you. We're happy to, you know, help you grow that business, right? So, and guys, thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you again next Monday.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
All right, have a good one.